gentleman we bring up, he was a treat for me to be able to work with because I saw him from afar. He played for my college coach. And if you lose your father early on, mine when I was 17, most of the male influences in a lot of young men's lives are their coach. And I watched this guy play when he played for Coach Dick Vermeil, who was my college coach, won Rose Bowl with Dick Vermeil. And Dick Vermeil is, to say he's intense would be an understatement. Thank God I had him when I was 19. Because if I don't know how grown men functioned with him. Because the guy was an absolute fanatic to the point where no attention to detail was missed. Everything we did with him was 3 or 4 hours. There was nothing under 3 or 4 hours. Maybe he'd been lighter on London than them, but for us, and he taught me a very valuable lesson as all the outstanding coaches. I learned a lot from the bad ones, and I had a lot of bad ones. And let's also kill this notion that all coaches are great. They're not all great. Some of them are incompetent jerks who don't even have the right to be called coach. But part of the life process is that you have to get through them, like you have to get through bad employers, like you have to get through bad things in life. Nothing's perfect. So I want to make that point. This man took that team and his middle linebacker and his linebacker and his special team. This guy, I've covered the game. I covered a lot of their games. Saw this guy just running around, popping around, hitting people. He had a nasty attitude, playing the game wild. I said, I like this guy's style. Then he goes to Buffalo. And then he comes here, and watching him, I call him captain. I don't even call him London. I never call him London. Every time I see him, I call him captain. Because that's, aside of coach, the next prestigious honor is captain. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring up a man. You know his stats. You know everything about him. You're going to find out a lot more about him now that he is, I guess he's semi-retired. I won't believe it until the season starts and he's not in the uniform. That's when I'll believe it. But this man is a special individual. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain London Fletcher.
Kind of look at my highlights for a second here. I enjoy watching myself. I ain't gonna. I was a cowboy killer. Oh. Didn't like the Eagles either. Hated the Eagles. Didn't like the Giants. I didn't like anybody we were playing, actually, to tell you the truth. Like as Doc mentioned, I try to play with a nasty disposition, a nasty demeanor. There go those Eagles again. All right, take it. No, but Doc, I'm gonna put one thing to let you know right now. With Coach Vermeil, he did take it a little bit easier on us once he got to the pros, but it was 3 hours in the pro level, and as you can imagine, we almost had a revolt.
We did.
Well, after the first game, I'm sitting there, I'm a rookie, and we have a team meeting, and the guys are talking about, man, I'm tired. You know, you can't keep practicing us like this. And I'm sitting there like, what are you, crazy? I'm in the National Football League. I don't care what we do. I'll practice all day long. But, we practiced for 3 hours my rookie year. And Coach Vermeil, the next year, he called himself, giving us a little slack, taking a little bit off of us. We practiced for 2.5 hours. So we still did all the same things, but that was his idea of giving us a little break. I'd like to start off by saying thank you to the DC Touchdown Club for honoring me with this award today. I'm truly blessed by this award to be here among so many great people. I appreciate this. I'd like to congratulate my fellow award recipients this evening. I think it's all of you should be very proud of what you've accomplished. So I wanted to congratulate you all. Particularly the 3 high school athletes that are going to be recognized here today. You got DeAndre Payne, Jawan Bentley, and Trace McSorley. those three young men should be extremely honored and appreciative of what they've accomplished. When you think about it, in the DMV area, the Washington, D.C. area, there's a ton of talented athletes here. For those three guys to be singled out as among the best of the best is truly something to be proud of. You know, as these young men all get set to enter into college, I think they should embrace and embark on the next 4 years that they're about to embark on. They'll be the best years of their lives. You know, I still have relationships with the guys that I were teammates with at John Carroll, at St. Francis. Those are the relationships that I remember the most. You know, so you definitely need to appreciate those moments that you'll have these next 4 years. I want to encourage you to embrace hard work. What you get in is what you're going to get out. What you're willing to sacrifice, what you're willing to give, the things you're willing to do, that's what you're going to receive. Don't be afraid to fail. Challenge yourselves daily. Those are the things I want you to do. Challenge yourselves daily. For me, for my 16 years in the National Football League, I challenge myself daily. From a technique standpoint, in the classroom standpoint, whatever it was, however I could improve, that was my approach. If we had a game and I didn't like, you know, how I had my hand placement, you better believe the next day, or I was working on hand placement, footwork, things like that, pad level. Even at 16 years in the National Football League, that was my daily challenge. How could I get better? How can I continue to improve? Because I never felt like I had achieved my highest success as a player. To Keenan Reynolds, where's Keenan Reynolds at? The young man Keenan Reynolds. I didn't get a chance to meet him. I want to come shake your hand, young man. To Keenan, my hat goes off to him. You got a young man who's accomplished what he was able to accomplish at the Naval Academy. That's truly amazing when you look at the responsibilities that he has as a midshipman and as a student athlete. You know, I wasn't smart enough to get into the Naval Academy. I knew not to even apply there. So one of my teammates got in, but he was far smarter than I was. But then when you look at the sacrifices that this young man is willing to make to serve our country and defend our freedoms that we have as Americans, that is nothing short of heroic. To the coaches, as Doc Walker mentioned, the impact that you have on the young men that you coach is truly amazing. I say thank you for the commitment that you've made to make a difference in their lives. Without you all, none of us would be here today. I wouldn't be here, Doc wouldn't be here, Keenan wouldn't be here, Jawan wouldn't be here. You know, none of these young men would be here without the coaches' sacrifice, commitment, the dedication that you and the passion that you employ into these young men's lives, into my lives. Coaches, the most impactful people in my lives have been coaches. I still communicate with my high school coach, my junior high coach, college coach, and a lot of my professional coaches. They've made a tremendous impact on my lives. You know, I stand here today humbled and honored to receive this award, to have a career that others deem worthy to be celebrated. In reality, I'm not supposed to be here having had a career in the National Football League. I'm not supposed to be the guy who's had a career in the National Football League, if you think about it. 16 years ago, I set out on the greatest journey of my life. I was a Division III linebacker, undersized linebacker at that. I was the fourth man on the depth chart of a three-man depth chart, if you get what I'm saying. My first mini camp, they gave me the jersey number 66. That's not a number you give to linebackers, just to give you an idea. Linemen wear 60 numbers, linebackers wear 50 numbers or 90 numbers. So they gave me 66, basically a camp body, favor, so to speak. They didn't believe in me. I was considered a long shot. To even say I was a long shot, that would be an understatement. My cousin, he asked me, getting back to that 66 number, after the first mini camp, I go home and he asked me what was my number, what number did they give me? And I was so embarrassed and so ashamed by this number that they gave me. I said, oh, they didn't give our numbers yet. I was not going to let him know I was 66 because he would have definitely let me have it. It wasn't until I went back to the next mini camp that I actually got 59 because they had released a guy. But as I was considered a long shot, they were looking at all the things that I didn't have, but they didn't realize the few things that I did have. I had these eyes that allowed me to see things before they happen, great instincts that played a part in being a linebacker. Legs. And I was blessed with some legs that can run and move pretty fast. My 5-year-old son, he's blessed with the same legs, so I'm thankful that he got that gift from me. My mind, the ability to think and look at it from a coach's perspective at a young age. I've always played positions where leadership was in demand. I played point guard in basketball, middle linebacker in football, even played a little bit quarterback in football, flag football. I was Michael Vick of the flag football league. That's pretty good, actually. So the mind that God blessed me with, and most importantly, I had a heart. The heart that I had that allowed me to play the game with great passion and determination. Commitment. I had things that couldn't be measured. It wasn't about how fast you ran, how big you are, things like that. I had intangibles that couldn't be measured by a stopwatch or by, a measuring stick, so to speak. They didn't understand my commitment. The commitment that I had to my mom, a mom who had many struggles, a mom who was living in a house that was, and me growing up in this house that was infested, and I know you all are infested with rats and roaches. A commitment to her to want to get her out of that house and that situation that she was in. A commitment to my sisters, my 2 younger sisters who was living at this house with her and wanted to get her out of that situation. I had one of my Rams teammates ask me during the first mini camp that I went to, he said, "Why do you play so hard?" And I said, "Man, I have kids to feed." That's what I told him. I didn't even have kids at that time. I didn't have my first child until my wife and I came to D.C. the first year here. So, but my sisters had kids. I had to provide for them. So when I said that I had kids to feed, that's what I meant. I had to look out for them. I had to look out for my family, a commitment to them. And the heartaches that we've gone through, the different tragedies that we've gone through, and different struggles that we went through in my family. So they were counting on me. I wasn't going back to Cleveland without a fight, literally or figuratively. I wasn't going back. First mini camp, we go through little drills. We don't have on pads, so it's offense versus defense, and but everybody's trying to impress the coaches. And I'm a rookie going against the first team offense, and the whistle is blown, plays dead, and you got a starting offensive guard. He wants to, I guess, impress the coach. Has this linebacker wearing number 66. Hey, I'm gonna show out on this guy. So he decides to try to drive me downfield about another 10 yards. Plays dead. I know the play stopped, so I'm really not giving much effort. So somewhere in that play, it clicks. Oh, he's taking it too far. So I grab him underneath his helmet, and I take his body, and he comes like a helicopter propeller, and I'm literally spinning him around because his helmet is strapped on it. He can't get out. The helmet can't come off. That was the only thing that saved him. So, and I'm spinning him around, and I kind of raise him up and drop him on his head. And as this is happening, a bunch of the offensive players run, and his offensive linemen run over there. And where I'm from, I see somebody running at me. That means you want to fight too. So I start fighting the whole offense. But I tell you what, they knew I was there, and they knew I was there to stay. The defensive coaches respected me. My teammates respected me. My linebacker coach started calling me Tyson after that. So they took notice to this guy wearing number 66. I went on that year to win the Rookie of the Year for the Rams as an undrafted free agent. First thing I did, bought my mom a house. Told her, she didn't even know I bought her house. Said, Mom, I got you this house. I furnished it, put all the pots, pans in there. Told her, sent a U-Haul over there. Made her shake out her clothes as they went to the U-Haul. Didn't want to take any roaches to the new place. So some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all don't. So I made them shake the clothes out. Had a house for her and my sister. That was the proudest moment for me. I was still living in an apartment, but it wasn't about me. It was being able to give them a house, something they could be proud of, a place that they can call home. Second year in the league, Coach Vermeil is on his third year in the Rams. We're coming off a 4-12 season. He's under fire. If he doesn't win this year, he's going to get fired. He selects me as his starting middle linebacker. Undrafted free agent, small guy, Division III, 66 at one point. We're going to start this guy. ESPN, they do an article a preview of the team, preseason preview, and they do rankings 1 to 5 of each starter, and they had a little write-up about each starter, just a little sentence, and 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. And they get to my name, I'm excited. I'm a starter, so I go out and grab this magazine, and I see my name as a starter. They got me rated like a 1 or a 2, I think, and it says, if he's starting by Halloween, we'll buy you a car. Basically saying, I'm out of my elements. I have no chance. And as I've done in life many, many times before, I use that as motivation. That magazine sat on my coffee table for the whole season. We went on the regular season, finished 13-3. I was still starting by Halloween. Ended up leading the Rams in tackles. Played pretty good defense. Was a alternate for the Pro Bowl. And to see how things have changed, they do a postseason article, same magazine. So now they do a postseason preview of all the teams that made it. So I go see what they had to write about me now. So now I'm rated number 4 now. I got a 4 ranking. So I've moved up a little bit, and they said, well, if he doesn't lead the team in tackles by now, we'll buy you a car. So that just kind of shows you how the things transpire. But I use that as motivation for that whole season. For 16 years, I decided to laugh in the face of criticism and resist the lure of negativity. I would see things written about me, said about me, about guys who had no idea what was driving me, what was my motivation, who I was fighting for, what was my commitment, the amount of work I put in the off season, in the film room, in the meeting rooms, what I was doing, while everybody else was sleeping, while the opponents were resting, what I was doing. They had no idea what I was doing. So therefore, they had no idea what I was capable of. In life, you have 1,000 people tell you what you can't do, but you just need that one person to tell you what you can do. For me, it might even been myself, the only person I needed to tell me what I could do. Luckily, I had family, friends, I had a great wife, I had many people who supported and believed in me and knew what I was capable of. So I encourage the young men today. I thank the coaches, those young high schoolers, as I mentioned, as you go to set off into the new phase of your life, the next 4 years, you're going to face some criticism, you're going to face some adversity, but keep striving for greatness. Don't focus on the negativity. Block all that stuff out, man, and keep striving. I want to say thank you to my wife, Charnay. She's right here. She's allowed me to, over the last few years, to pursue my dreams and continue to play football while she's raised our 3 children, and I thank her for that. Thank my family, my friends, the coaches that have made my life what it is today, my teammates who've all played a tremendous part in my success today. Again, to the DC Touchdown Club, I want to say thank you, and thank you for this award. God bless all of you.